Guys, it will be an embargo for 10:30 this evening, and some days downstairs for
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I check first of all your injury list, because you have a few players on your list by my reckoning.
The injury list is well, Paulo Zabaleta, that he continues with his problem in his knee. Jay Clichy, that he has a surgery in his ankle. Fabian Delph, that has a hamstring injury during the international break. Those are the three, and David Silva, that also has a kick in his ankle.
How frustrating is that injury again for Fabian? Because one or two people might think he's rushed back a little bit too quickly from the earlier injury.
No, I don't think so. I think that Fabian worked with us before he went to his national squad. He worked with normality, without any problem. He played some minutes with our team. So I think that was very unlucky for him to have that injury, but that things happen.
How long do you think he'll be out for?
Well, I don't know. We must see the finals, the Emirate that he must do. But I think that at least 1 month and a half, I don't know.
Kevin has arrived and is settling in, I guess. How excited are you by his arrival?
Well, very happy, because I think that he's a very important player, a player with some characteristics same as Raheem that we need in our squad. He's 100% fit. His position is easy to settle in our team, so I think that he would be a very important player for us during the year.
I guess your supporters will wonder whether he'll feature this weekend?
He's in this squad list. We'll see tomorrow what happens with him.
Just how good can he be? I guess you've bought him for how good he is at the moment, but what's his potential?
Well, it's very difficult for me to say which can be his potential. I think he's a young player, 24 years old. I think that he improved a lot when he was here in the Premier League, and compared with his last season in Germany. I always say that when good players arrive to a good team with also very good players, as David, Kun, Yaya, or just to name someone or some of the players, I think that they will continue improving. That's why he's here, with same thing as Raheem or Fabian Delph, all the three players and Nicolas Otamendi, the players that we brought to our squad this season.
Otamendi likely to feature and possibly a debut for him?
Otamendi is ready to play. He didn't work too much with us because he went to his national squad also. So he had, before that, he has to have the work permit, so he had to travel to Spain. So well, he's just starting the work with the team. His position maybe is more difficult to start playing soon, but we'll see. He's 100%, and if we need him, he's ready to play.
There's been a suggestion maybe he might fill in at right back, because you seem to have a problem at right back.
If Bakary Sañas continue playing the way he's doing so far, we don't have any problem.
And his ankle's okay this weekend?
No problem.
No problem at all?
No.
How difficult this weekend is it to plan your team, bearing in mind what's coming up next week in the Champions League?
No, I think that the complete staff and squad and club is just thinking Crystal Palace. I think it's a tough game that we have to play away against a team that started very well the season. After we finish that game, we are going to start thinking about the Champions League and Juventus and all what we have the next week. But now the priority is Crystal Palace, and we are just focusing on that game.
So not even half an eye on planning an 11 to start this Saturday and who might play on Tuesday?
No, we are just thinking the best start 11 for this Saturday. I repeat, we are not thinking nothing about Tuesday.
How surprised have you been by Crystal Palace? I think nobody expected them to be where they are at the moment.
Well, I think that last season, Alan Pardew also finished with a good, very good way with Crystal Palace. I think he's a manager that always has a good team with good performance, so I'm not surprised because they have very good players also.
Can I just ask you one final thing about transfers? You've spent quite a lot of money on 3 players, well over 130 million. Surprised that Chelsea and Arsenal haven't been spending big money?
No, really, I don't analyze what the other team can do. I suppose that they do what they think that is the best for their team. So I'm not surprised, or I don't analyze about that. I think that in our team, we thought that the best way to have a strong squad was to bring these players, and we brought them.
One final question on Aguero. He seems to have started the season really, really well. How impressed have you been with him?
Well, I think that Kun, I said before, he's always is a very good player that make different things. I think that last season he was the scorer of the Premier League, so he had a very good performance also. I hope that this year he can play without any injuries, and I'm sure that he will be a different player, and well, as always, he will score a lot of goals.
Hello, Manuel. Just as far as Kevin De Bruyne is concerned, obviously a new player for you, and he's been away on international duty as well. So how difficult does that make your job in terms of seeing how he can interact with other players with regards to this weekend?
Well, it's not the best way to arrive and to go to his national squad, but that things happen, and it doesn't matter because he must play for the Belgian team. In his position, I just said it's more easy maybe to settle in our team. It's different when you play in the line back with a special work. But we'll see. He needs maybe to be 100% including the movements of our squad more time. But in this moment, if we need it, he can play it also without any problem.
Did you maybe send him some DVDs or an iPad or something with ideas on that he could watch when he was with Belgium?
No, I spoke with him during the week. We work a couple of days here. We always see what our team is doing, so it's just a matter of time.
And just finally for me, do you know where you would like him ideally to play, or are you happy for him to play in any of those positions?
No, I think that he can play in the 3 positions, in both wings and behind the striker. He doesn't have any problem to change his position.
Manuel, just about David Silva, can you confirm, you say it's an ankle problem, is he out then tomorrow?
Yes, he's out for tomorrow. I think that maybe it's a risk for him to take another kick in the same zone, so it's better for him to rest a couple of days.
Will he be okay for Tuesday in Juventus, you feel?
I hope we'll see during the weekend, but I hope that he will be fit on Tuesday.
Crystal Palace has been a tricky place, of course, for City in the past. How impressed have you been with the improvements to the side that Pardew has made?
Well, last season was a difficult game also there. Always I think it's difficult to play against Crystal Palace. You saw the last game, they defeat Chelsea. That's not easy to beat Chelsea at home. So we are prepared to play a very tough game, a very difficult game, and the important thing is that our team tries to continue to return from the international break in the same way we finished.
In some ways, is this the hardest test of the season for you now, with the start that they've made? I mean, obviously City have started superbly well. Is this the toughest game?
Always the toughest game is the next one, for me. It's the way I think, so that's why I just answered that we are just focusing in this game. We are not thinking about what will happen at the end of the year, or what happens if we start Champions League on Tuesday. The most important thing is to be focused, mind and psychology and physical in this game.
And finally, how pleased are you to be named manager of the month again?
Well, very happy, because that means that we are doing the things in the correct way so far. I think that's merit of all our staff, of all the players, and I always say that in this profession you always depend on the performance of the player. We are in a good moment, the whole club, so that's important to receive those kinds of trophies, because it reflects what we are doing.
Is it extra pleasing, though, given the fact that it was a difficult season for you last year, so much speculation, and now your team playing like it is, and you get this award as well?
Well, I think that for the managers, all the seasons are difficult. I always say that you can pass in one game to be a beast, to be a bestial. So for me, it's a profession that you must understand that this is part of the profession. But really, I try to work in the same moment, we are in a bad moment or in a good moment, in the way I think that's the best way to do it.
How much of a concern is the fullback situation? I know you said, did you say Gael Clichy was having an operation or had an operation, and Zabaleta's out for at least another couple of weeks? With the games now 2 a week, is that a real concern that you've really only got Kolarov and Bakary Sagna available?
Yes, of course I'm concerned because it's not normal to have both fullbacks injured. Also Fabian Delph, that maybe he can replace Alex Kolar in that position because he played in that position before. He's continued to play as a midfielder, but we don't have him also. So we hope that Bakary Sagna and Kolarov will not be injured till Clichy and Zabaleta will recover.
It was a big concern, presumably, when Sagna had this ankle injury, but you're convinced he's 100% fit?
Yes, he's 100% he doesn't have any problem.
Mama, just on Fabian Delph, is it normal for a player to pull a hamstring within 10-15 seconds of the start of a game? Are you concerned about the warm-up maybe, or the preparation before the game?
No, really, when the players go to their national squad, I trust in their managers, in the way they work, because they are all very good professionals with a lot of experience. So I don't have any doubt that was an unlucky moment for Fabian Delph and not a problem of warm-up or problem in the way in England squad they work. I think.
Is it the same? Is it the same injury as last time with the same hamstring?
It's the same. No, it's not the same injury. It's the same leg, the same muscle, but not in the same part.
So is it a concern that it happens so? I mean, to happen so quickly from the start of a game, does that not concern you at all in terms of the strength of his hamstring?
Well, of course, it's not the best way to start, but I think that Fabian must be stronger in his mind. He must understand that these things can happen. I think he's a very good professional, and he will be back as soon as he can. And sure, that was a bad moment that he was super.
Do you have any timescale on how long he'll be out?
No, no. I repeat, we must know what the doctor says, but I think that will be at least 1.5 months. No?
And you touched on it earlier, but do you think one of the big benefits of bringing in players like Bruyne and Sterling and Otamendi is not just what they will bring to the team, but the impact that they will have on your other big players? Do you think that they will help to raise the level of performance of people like Silva and Aguero and company? Is that one of the added benefits of bringing in top quality players like that?
Well, the first benefit to bring them here is because we think that we need the characteristics of that players. The second benefit, I would say, is because they are very good players that will improve our squad. You see, we started very well this season, and maybe just the only player that is playing is Raheem. The other are not yet playing in the team. But this is very long. I think that we need a strong squad. You are seeing the injuries that our team and all the other teams have at the beginning of the season. So I'm sure that playing so many games, all the teams will have injuries. So it's important to have a very strong squad and not just a good team. That's why the arrival of the 3 of them or the 4 of them will have a lot of benefits. And always good players playing with good players will improve the squad.
It raises their level.
Raises all the level for the players that arrive and the players that are here. So I think it's as best is your squad or your team, best in the best way you will play.
Manuel, Kevin's been in England before. Why do you think it didn't work for him last time?
I can't analyze that because I don't have the information about that. There are different teams, there are different moments. Really, it's very difficult for me to analyze.
But it wasn't a concern to you that he just wouldn't be suited to English football?
No, I'm not concerned about that because I know in the way he play, I know the way our team play. I am sure that in our team will be very important.
You said last year that in order to overtake a team like Barcelona, you need to find a Messi. This week, De Bruyne's first Belgian coach said he could be as good as Messi, as good as Ronaldo. Do you see him in that way?
No, I think that we brought very good players, not to compare with another players. I said that important teams need to buy every year important player because the competition is very high here in the Premier League. And after that, in their performance, we'll say what kind of player we brought.
Is this now the strongest squad you think you've ever had at City? Is it stronger than your title-winning squad?
I don't like to compare. I think that you must compare at the end of the season. I think that the squad that the first squad that I had here, the first season here, my season here in England, I think that was a very strong squad because we won 2 titles. We'll see what we can do with this squad. So I don't want to compare the past with the present. We must demonstrate now in this season how strong we are.
Well, there was a lot said about the fee that you've paid for Kevin De Bruyne. Are you sort of convinced he's worth that sort of money?
I will answer you the same answer that I said about Raheem. The price is, you must maybe at the beginning, everyone will talk about the price. At the end, it's part of the game, of the player, of the team to demonstrate why we brought him here. It doesn't matter which was the price, maybe some very cheap players. They play very well, and maybe expensive players, they do it so well. But I am sure, and I started with Raheem, that in 2 or 3 games he demonstrated why we brought him here. I am sure with Kevin De Bruyne at the end of the season, nobody will remember how much we paid for him.
Do you think, Manuel, you've got that perfect balance now between frightening pace in like Aguero and Navas and Sterling, and players with great speed of thought like De Bruyne and David Silva? Is that a great combination to have? Is that the perfect balance to have?
Yes, we have balance and we have a lot of different combinations. That also is important. But I think that in the last season in this squad, maybe we need more speed for both wings. We had just Jesus Navas. That's why the arrival of Kevin and the arrival of Raheem is important in that sense. We will continue always being a technical squad, trying to move the ball as soon as we can, and that players as Narri, as Silva, as Yaya will always have a place here in the squad. So, but we can make, as you said, a different combinations. Very important.
Well, would it have been would it have been hard for you to change a winning team? And has the loss of Silva, the enforced loss of Silva, made that easier for you in a sense? Because managers do find it hard to change a winning team, to leave players out if the team is winning constantly.
I think to make change in the team is always very difficult. When you are winning, because you are winning, so you don't need change. When you are losing, it's always you are doubting. You have the doubts about to continue trusting the same players, so to make some change. I think that we have to play so many games that it's impossible to do it just with one team. So for me, the most important thing to make a decision is the performance of the different players when they play just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or during the week. So that's why we have a strong squad, and we will try to manage in the best way to try to win all the competitions.
Well, the adding of these very good young players is one of the sort of bonuses that it allows you to rest some of your more established players. It's a long season, so you're able to allow other players some downtime.
Well, I just said we are going to see during the season. I think that the age is not very, very important. Of course, when you are old, it's more difficult for you to play games in a row. But we'll see each game which is the best squad to start thinking about a lot of things. But the most important thing that we have to choose to start the 11 is to think which is the best team to start to win in the next game.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Sunday,
Bye.
Thursday.